Long ago, a war broke out between vampires and witches. This war would last eons, as even though the original reason was lost to time, the hatred continued to flow through each race's veins. Even when both races had become destitute and a lack of resources forced them to sign a peace treaty, never once did either side believe the conflict would end. And the city built in the name of this treaty, Ravenfold, was seen as nothing more than a beautiful farce. However, there were some exceptions. A small minority thought that their race's feud was pointless and were willing to openly treat one another with kindness, regardless of if they were vampire or witch. And there were two individuals in particular who treated each other with more than just kindness: a young vampire lord and a witch coven heiress, who fell head over heels in love with one another. Unfortunately, the two were far from fools and knew that their love would never be accepted by their societies. But they were unable to deny their feelings to each other, and so they ran away under the cover of the night to the border and built their own home on the border between Ravenwold and the Wicked Forest, where they were blessed with a new addition to their family: me, Shiilzu. I wasn't a vampire or a witch, since I inherited both my father's vampiric abilities to charm others with my speech and voice, and even if I'm not really the sharpest tool in the shed, I love spells and potion brewing just as much as my mother. I've never been ashamed of who I am, as my parents raised me to be proud of my unique identity. But the rest of my parents' kinds thought differently. Maybe it was because my parents came from pretty important families, but they were never gave up looking for my parents, even after all these years. They were already angry when they found out my parents had run away to be with each other, but when they saw me, there was no going back. They returned to Ravenfold to tell everyone about what they had found, about me. Nobody accepted my existence. It almost caused the war to restart on the spot. The only thing that stopped them was one thing. They agreed that if I died, they would stay in a state of peace. Luckily, one of my parents' old friends caught wind of what they were planning and came to warn us in time.
Shiilzu, it's not safe for you to stay here.
Your mother is right. She can cast a spell to...
No! I don't want to leave you guys behind!
That's not your responsibility, Shiil. We caused this to happen. We are your parents. We are the ones who need to deal with these consequences.
But what if they hurt you, if they can't get to me? You're my parents, so you'd be the natural next targets.
Shiilzu, this isn't something to debate about. They have an issue with who you are. And since that's something we can't change, they won't stop until they've hunted you down, so...
Well, what if it was something I could change? There might be a spell that could split me in half. One witch, one vampire. Wouldn't that stop them?
Sure, you cannot do that. You have no idea what kind of side effect that could have.
I'd rather risk those effects than lose you guys. Plus, I got a sister, I guess? A twin. And safety, all in one.
Shiilzu.
Alright, but you must let me help you, okay?
Okay. I thought that I'd finally convinced them that they were going to let me stay. That we would face this all as family. But... Mom!
I'm sorry, Shiilzu. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But I need to protect you.
As we were casting the spell, I thought something had gone wrong. Instead of splitting in half, a portal rose out of the cauldron and began to suck me in. But when I saw my mother's crying face, I realized she tricked me and altered the spell to be a teleportation spell. I couldn't even fight against it, and I was sent hurling through space for ages. And I wound out. Where the fuck am I?